welcome to another World of Tanks subscriber replay. My name is Maxwell and today's video is from the user Falel. That's Falel, and he is driving, bear with me because I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation, but he is driving the aufklärungspanzer panther. And that is the tier 7 medium tank on the new German medium tank line, and he is on an encounter battle on Himmelsdorf. So first things first, he's going to be heading down the hill and to this central area, probably going to take up a defensive position and see if he can get anybody spotted out coming up this central area. Now this tank does receive a lot of flack from people saying that it's not particularly great, it's not well armoured, it's pretty manoeuvrable, its cannon isn't fantastic, but this replay is going to show what you can achieve with that tank if used in a scouting and advanced role. So just sitting in cover here, I'm going to see who we can find. Spots out this KV-1S, going to see if he can get a shot on him, waiting until the last second there, and then letting one off and able to get a little bit of damage on that KV-1S through the side armour there. As you can see, the gun not having a particularly high amount of alpha damage. Spotted out, looks like he's been seen by the Panther 2. There's the Panther 2 is looking in this direction, so he's going to fall back as he doesn't want to get picked off and damaged too much before the battle even starts. So it looks like this IS-6 is having a little bit of trouble with this 1375, so he's just going to come around the corner and finish him off there. So just going to be dueling with this KV-1S. The KV-1S has got a very long reload time, and he's saying he actually doesn't have the fully upgraded gun there, so he doesn't have a very long reload time, but then again he doesn't have very much damage either. So just going to see if he can get some free damage through the guy's turret. Able to get a little bit of damage there, and then decides to drop back and cover off this central area in case anybody decides to come and get some flanking maneuvers going. As you see, a Panther 2 does exactly that and starts coming up the central area there in an attempt to get a more advanced position on this IS-6 and get some damage on him. Not quite able to get a shot on the Panther 2 there, just hitting the barricades. So I'm going to pop himself out and see if he can get a shot on him. Not quite able to see him, and not quite able to get any damage through the front of that KV-1S's turret. Although there we go, able to get a good hit on the side of that Panther 2. Just going to remain in this place in case the Panther 2 decides to drop back. So Panther 2 can't really take on an IS-6 one-on-one from the front. Having a little bit of trouble with his manoeuvring there, and really gets punished for that one there. So just going to drop back into this area to punish him for falling back now. This Panther 2 is pretty much left in a no-win situation here. He can't push forward because that IS-6 will destroy him, and he can't really fall back because the Panzer here of Falel will also be able to take him out. Just going to wait for the IS-6 to come around behind him, and then this should be an easy case of just finishing him off for his first kill of this match. In fact, no, sorry, I stand corrected. Second kill of the match, as he took out the 1375 from earlier. So things seem to be going okay on the hill. It seems pretty evenly matched up there. In fact, they should be able to win that one out. So just going to go through to the enemy spawn area, helping that IS-6 along there, as he's not the fastest and most manoeuvrable tank. Unfortunately, does crash into the pillar there. Not having a little bit of indecision about what to do. Trying to decide whether to go up and support on the hill, as that would be pretty good there. Just asking, can you hold the hill, or do you need help? Because coming at the enemy from behind will take them by surprise. Although that capture is now up into the up to 54-55% now, so he's going to have to go across and see if he can do something about that. Finds the Tiger 2, gets a shot on him, but that doesn't quite reset the cap, so there must be a second tank in there. Going to wait for the Tiger 2 to hide himself, and then going to pop out and see who else is in the cap zone. It is in fact a T-44, and then he's gone and reset the cap almost entirely now, well entirely. That T-44 has turned his attention to the Panzer of Falel and gets a couple of good shots, although there is, what is that? That's a T-34 holding their attention from the north. Almost able to take the Tiger 2 out there. A little bit unlucky that he wasn't able to get that one. And his second shot missing there, but this last one, if he just... Oh no, he just gets into cover in time. Just going to try and patiently wait this one out while his track is damaged. Comes forward, is able to finally finish off that T-44. And it should just be a case of coming around the back end of this Tiger 2 and able to get that one also. Spots out the enemy's artillery there, but decides to just leave that one to the T-34, which is in the area there. He should have no problems finishing off that artillery, and decides to come and possibly head up the hill from the enemy's spawn point here to try and do something about that, as it looks like, even though it was a pretty even match, in fact it looked like they had more tanks on the hill, the enemy has prevailed then, has been able to win out that battle. So deciding to think better of it now and come at the enemy... Well, I was going to say come at the enemy from their own spawn area, but it looks like they've got a couple of tanks heading towards the capture zone there. So just a little bit of indecision, trying to decide whether to come at the enemy from up the hill from their own spawn, but by the time they reached there, the enemy would have moved on. Then trying to decide whether to go up Dead Man's Alley to try and head them off, but again by the time they got there they would have moved on, so just going to drop back to the cap zone and await the enemy from here. Spots out the last remaining artillery, but somebody else can deal with that, probably that IS-6. I'm just going to patiently await the enemy as they will have to come to them. Sees that the enemy has a low incoming, so switches to premium shells, the expensive shells, just to be able to guarantee some damage through the front of that low. And it's a Jagdtiger 8.8, so could have been worse. The enemy is pretty beaten up and pretty damaged, not quite able to get a final shot on that guy there. Can he... Yes, able to get the last bit of damage and take out the low there. And the Jagdtiger 8.8, not quite able to get a hit on him, so going to use the tank's speed and maneuverability to try and get around behind this guy, instead of all just sitting in the cap zone and getting eliminated one after another by this Jagdtiger, which would be the wrong thing to do. So just going to flank around behind, and probably doesn't need the premium shells to be able to do that one, but decided to use them anyway, and then switches back to regular shells as the enemy only has this KV-1S remaining, although he's doing a good job of resetting the cap at the moment. But he's only got 50 hit points left, so it should just be a case of finding a shot. Not quite able to land one there, and the IS-6 also not able to land one, but the KV-1S deciding to reverse, revealing himself, and our man Falel here is able to pick up the last kill of the match and his 7th. So absolutely brilliant replay from him, showing that this tank isn't absolute garbage. If used as an advanced scout and a flanker, it can be used pretty effectively. So thank you very much for sending that replay in. Thank you to you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.